What if Nintendo made the PlayStation Vita 2? In short, that would be a perfect place. Welcome to the perfect world of video games. Let me know what you think in the comments down below and don't forget to hit that like button. Normally we don't go this crazy in the perfect world of video games. Of course, the perfect world of video games every Friday here on the JorRaptor channel, where we discuss the things that we want to see happen that aren't out of this world but have a slight chance of happening. But I thought about this: what if Nintendo made the PS Vita 2? That would be an amazing world to live in, right? Zelda, Mario, Ratchet & Clank, Uncharted on one portable device. But there is way more, and a twist. After the Nintendo Switch announcement, it's not crazy to think that the Switch will not be the success that Nintendo needs. I went hands-on with the device at an event and I totally loved it. I already got mine pre-ordered and I think that the first party lineup is pretty great for the first year, but it's really expensive. It's not $250 for the system and a game, which was of course the case with the Wii and Wii Sports, and that was a huge success. It's $300, and if you want a casual party game, in this case 1-2 Switch, it's $350. So it will likely not be a huge mainstream success right off the bat. Then there's also no real third-party support, only ports. Where is that new IP from Ubisoft that they created for the Wii with Red Steel and Wii U with Zombie U? Nope, nowhere to be seen. Right now there are reasons to be skeptical about the Switch business performance, and let's face it, Nintendo can't release another poor console sales wise, so then they might have to look at other possibilities. Like I said, I really love the device. Where the Wii U felt really cheap, the Switch build quality is way better. The fact that you can slide off these Joy-Cons and give it to another player to do Mario Kart split screen on that tablet is just brilliant. Nintendo shows once again that they have amazing ideas that really work, so it would be sad if the Switch wasn't a success. But for the sake of this video, the Switch will flop and Nintendo is looking for new possibilities. And they could just go third party, make a Zelda and Mario of course for the Xbox and PS4. That could be a possibility, but they want to make hardware. They want to be in control. They want to have this hardware that they can get the most out of with their games, that they can really make the games for this piece of technology. And then they think, wait, Sony did stuff with handhelds, right? Why not combine our powers? What if Nintendo made a PlayStation Vita 2? That they went to Sony and said, hey, why not let us make your next handheld? We will support it with our games, and you will do it with yours, and then the third party will come eventually. Third party will of course come if the system is selling well, and who doesn't want a portable system with Mario, Zelda, Uncharted and maybe Horizon? Sony and Nintendo are both Japanese. While the PS4 is doing okay in the country, it's all about handheld gaming, and right now mostly mobile gaming. What if Nintendo and Sony decided to take on this way of gaming, this mobile gaming, with their own dedicated handheld gaming device? I mean, phone games can be fun, but it's about the real games on the go. Isn't that amazing? You know what a Vita 2 from Nintendo means, right? It means the best of both worlds. Well, at least in the perfect world of video games. We get the online support from Sony and the trophies, the friendship system, the voice chat. No, we don't need to download a separate app for that. On the other hand, we would get games like Phoenix Wright and Monster Hunter on the Sony platform as well. Games that aren't especially from Nintendo, but still haven't found their way to the Sony platform or have been gone for a while. I can see this PS Vita 2 or Ninai or Sodo or whatever the device will be called in two ways. Nintendo and Sony just partner up to make a new handheld gaming device to live alongside the hardware. So in Sony's case the PS5, and in Nintendo's case just this device. So just a handheld 3DS. It's killed off. They went with the Switch. It didn't go well, so they're now making this device. In Japan, we already see a lot of Vita and 3DS games like Danganronpa, Persona, Yokai Watch, stuff like that. So those games will all be on this platform as well, because yeah, they supported the handheld and now we got a new handheld, so they are on board. Then we got the strong indie support that is already visible on the Vita and also a little bit on the 3DS, especially the Vita gets a lot of like PS4 Vita games, so they will also be on board on this handheld. And then of course we have the Nintendo support. There will be a Mario game, there will be a Pokemon game, and then also some high class Sony titles like an Uncharted, maybe the Killzone. They already have an amazing device that I would love to take with me on the go. Just like a regular handheld, but with the best of both worlds. And people will buy it because of the many games that both systems will have combined. There will be no software drought that all the handhelds have, like on Sony's side and 3DS side. Now they will be combined, so they can just move things around. It will be great. I mean, let's get realistic here. Even if Sony decides to drop the bomb on the first party games, like they did with the Vita and now seem to do with the PSVR, we would still have Nintendo and the great Japanese games. And then, because a lot of people want that Nintendo system, want that third party Sony Vita support, and maybe some Sony first party games as well, the third party will come. Another scenario would be that Nintendo makes the handheld PS4 or even a PS5 at that point. That they are like, we are known for our handheld devices, so we will make the portable version of your current console. You can just keep making your console games, they will be playable on this device, and we will also add our first party games on there as well. Wait guys, I will come online on Mario Kart 10 after I finish the Destiny 4 raid, so yeah, just hold on. Ah man, GTA 6 is really amazing on the go, right? Yeah, it will just be super awesome and expensive. Maybe around the $700 or $600, although the Switch is now $300 and it's basically a slightly better PS3 in the handheld form. So a PS4 handheld will maybe be $500. I mean, you can remove the Joy-Con controllers with the HD rumble and the motion stuff, and you don't need the dock as well, just the handheld. So I think that would be way cheaper, and it could be possible then, right? Okay, let's pop this bubble. Nintendo is of course known for creating stuff that is like super cheap. Like, they will never sell a product for $400 or more, while the PS4 was that at launch, and the Xbox One was even $500 with of course that stupid Kinect at launch. But this is the perfect world of video games. Just imagine what would happen if Nintendo made a handheld that would be able to run PS4 quality games, that would have their own first party games as well. So Super Mario Odyssey and Zelda would be there as well, but also like Rockstar has no problems with porting Red Dead Redemption 2 and even GTA over to their handheld. Wouldn't it be cool if Nintendo really went all out, not hold itself back in terms of power because they want to have a cheap handheld, they want to have the motion rumble rebel web. What I'm trying to say here is that, and this I realized this while writing this episode, is that what would the world look like if the Switch was a handheld that could play all the games? Yes, it will then be expensive, maybe $500, but wouldn't that be something you would want? I mean, being able to play these games on the go would be enough of a killer app for me to buy third-party games on the Switch right now, instead of the PS4 where I play like most of my games. So that is super interesting. I know a lot of people bought the PS4 Pro, for example. That's $400. $400 for a completely new device. If the Switch was $500, but on top of the fact that it's like powerful, I could also play all the games that I already played, except of course for the Sony first party. I would buy that. I would totally buy that. Right now the Switch is just the same as with the Wii U. You buy this Nintendo hardware for the Nintendo games, but it didn't help the Wii U, so why would it help the Switch right now? I see a lot of comments saying, why didn't Nintendo just make a PS4 or an Xbox One, and then instead of the Sony or the Microsoft exclusives, you have the Nintendo exclusives and then all the same third-party games. Well, on paper this might sound like a great idea, but it's not really the case, because of course the PS4 and the Xbox One already are 3 years old, so they have a huge install base. So if someone is buying a new console and is looking at where its friends are at, the chances are very slim that they are on the Nintendo console, because they probably bought a PS4 or an Xbox One before that. So I think the Nintendo exclusives are not a great enough value to, for people to jump ship or choose the Nintendo platform over the PS4 and Xbox One, especially since the PS4 and the Xbox One will probably be cheaper as well. So that's an interesting point. So that's why I think that they need to add something, and I think an expensive handheld so that you can play those PS4 and Xbox One games, third-party games on the go, is something that makes this device different, that makes it also a great experience on top of the PS4 and Xbox One. Where handheld devices that have a lot of power like the Nvidia Shield fail is the software support, but Nintendo would not have this issue with a more powerful hardware, because they have their own games that a lot of people want to play, and they could also easily contact the developers and say, hey, we have this device, it's easy to port, just make your games. I mean, we saw it with Bethesda, we saw it with FIFA, with EA, with Ubisoft. They love Nintendo, they love the way they're doing things, but they can't support it because it makes no sense business-wise. They can't sell their games, and it's super hard to port over, and all that stuff. Instead of making the third party come to Nintendo, Nintendo could better go to the third party themselves and make this handheld more powerful enough. The question is, would you buy a handheld that is powerful enough to play all the PS4 games for, let's say, $500? Because if you won't, then Nintendo probably made the right choice with the Switch. But if you would be interested in that, then Nintendo might need to explore that market and maybe have some conversations with Sony, because let's be honest, a Nintendo Sony portable device, that would be a dream come true. I will just leave you with this question: will you buy a handheld for $500 that could play all the games on the go? Would you do it? Hopefully you like this a little bit more crazy perfect world of video games. It's not really backed up with like a lot of theories and why this could be true. Of course Nintendo and Sony are not going to work together. I mean, that would really be a perfect world of video games. I don't see that happen anytime soon. Might be, but yeah, it is not something for in the future or for the next 10 years or something like that. But still, it's like interesting to talk about. And yeah, I came to that point of why didn't they make an expensive piece of technology later on. So that's interesting. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe for more perfect world of video games videos. Every Friday they're up on the channel, so be sure to subscribe. I will speak to you next time. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.